happy morning to you all. Blue Stars High Secondary School welcomes you all to learn this humorous play, The Never Never Nest, which was written by Cedric Mount. The Never Never Nest is a comic one-act play about a young couple. They make full use of the buy now, pay later marketing system. This comedy is very relevant today because we can buy almost anything now on the installment basis. Before entering into the story, we are going to learn about the author. Author Cedric Mount. He was born on 13th April 1889 in California. He is a considerable distinguished playwright of his age. He wrote some thoughtful plays which include 20th Century, To Cut a Long Story Short, and Nature Abhors a Vacuum. His one-act plays are easy to perform, satirical, witty, humor, and insightful. These one-act plays expose the shams of the contemporary society besides delicately admonishing the guilty. His literary career was brief, that is, the period of 1932 to 1940. Now, we are going to justify the title Never Never Nest. Why this lesson was named as Never Never Nest? The nest in the title literally refers to the home of birds. Yes, usually we are calling nest as a home of birds, isn't it? Birds take a lot of time and work very hard to build their nest. How they are all building its nest? By collecting all the things whichever required for building a nest, isn't it? But in this play, both Jack and Jill. Who is Jack and Jill? They are the young couple. Jack is the man, Jill is his husband. Jill is his wife. Both Jack and Jill have instant gratification for luxuries by installments without saving any money. The double negativity in the title emphasizes the impossibility of home. The title points to the new trend of young middle-class couple buying so many household items and houses in easy installments. In the case of Jack and Jill, the young couple, the matter is extremely serious. They have run greater risk in owning their villa. Villa means house. That was beyond their access. With the £6 earned every week, Jack's weekly installments were higher than his income. Then how can he pay it back? The playwright feels that such couples would make a nest, but they will never settle happily. Another version. Jack and Jill, the young couple, call their house a little nest. Like birds make their nest from wires, fibers, leaves and grass, all collected free of cost. Jack and Jill too had made their nest. Right from the villa, they lived happily with all the household gadgets like sofa, car, piano, radio and all other costly furnitures, but they had them all in easy installments. It will take them years to own their villa, their car, their furniture, etc. Before entering into the story, some of the warm-up exercises. What are the essentials one needs to lead a comfortable life? Fill in the empty bubbles with some of them. No borrowing, TV, domestic appliances, sufficient money, own house to stay. List 6 gadgets that you want to purchase. Write them according to your priorities and state the reasons. First of all, gas stove. It is used for preparing food, saving time and fuel. and then a mixer grinder for getting different powders for our cooking, chutneys and fruit juices. And then grinder. It is used for grinding flour for idlis and dosas, etc. And then a refrigerator. It is used for keeping all the things fresh. Washing machine. It is used for washing clothes. And then a water purifier. It is used for converting groundwater into RO water. Do you think you can afford to buy all of these at once? No, I cannot afford to buy all these at once. With savings, I can buy them one by one based on my priorities. We may not have money to buy all our wants at the same time. In such a situation, what are the options available? We can buy the most necessary appliance first, then one by one others may be bought according to requirements. The other option is to buy them on installment basis. Expand EMI. What is EMI? Equated monthly installment. So we have to pay it for each and every month. Now, this is the introduction of characters. In this play, the Never Never Nest. He is Mr. Jack. He is the head of that family. Cute nest. Then she is Jill, wife of Jack. Then Aunt Jane. She is the relative of Jack and Jill. Then the nurse, who is taking care of their child. Now, Jack and Jill are young couple. They live in a well-furnished house at New Hampstead. A table with writing materials and 2 chairs are among the essential furniture. Aunt Jane pays a visit to their house. She is Aunt Jane. She is pleased to see their house and beautiful furniture. Jack and Jill have all modern comforts. They have a radiogram, a car, a refrigerator, and a piano. Jill tells Aunt Jane that when Jack is away at business, the radio set will be moved into the kitchen so that she can listen to it while she cooks. Jack requests Aunt Jane to sit down as she must be tired of the journey. And they have shown her everything then. She's showing her everything. That means this is our new piano, this is our fridge, this is our car, like that. She's showing everything to Aunt Jane proudly. Jill asks Aunt Jane what's her opinion about their house. How is our house, Auntie? Like that she's asking. They have called their house as a little nest. Aunt Jane tells them that it was wonderful. Yes, it's a wonderful house. I like it. Likewise, Aunt Jane answered. She adds that the furniture, the car, the piano, the refrigerator and the radio are really wonderful items. Aunt Jane is very much impressed by their standard of living. She proudly feels that their life is very comfortable one, and then she was impressed by their standard of living. Jack tells Aunt Jane that all their comforts are due to her. Aunt Jane does not understand how her nephew wants all these comforts. She has given the couple a check of only £200 as wedding present. She asks Jack if she has given by mistake a check of £2,000. Aunt Jane tells that she still does not understand how they afford to pay the rent for such a beautiful house. What she thought She thought that it is a rental house. But he told her that it was their own house. Jack tells her that he doesn't pay the rent. Then Aunt Jane tells him that if he doesn't pay rent, he will be thrown out from the house. She further warns Jack that he must think as he has to look after a wife and a baby. Then Jack says that she misunderstands him and he doesn't pay rent because he owns the house. Aunt Jane is astonished to hear it. Really, it's the own house. Jack explains to his aunt that they have purchased the house by paying £10 towards initial payment and the balance to be paid in a few quarterly installments. He tells her that living in a rented house was expensive and uneconomical. In such case, they have to pay rent year after. So they decide to purchase the house on installments. And Jane thinks that Jack must be earning a lot to maintain a big house. But Jill replies, Aunt Jane, that Jack has a 5-shilling rise only last year. Then Jack says modestly that he is expecting 10 shillings in that Christmas. Aunt Jane, she is eager to know if the car belongs to him. Jack replies that he owned its steering wheel, one of the tires and 2 of the cylinders. It is also bought on installments. Jill tells Aunt Jane that they could never buy a car outright and still they can enjoy the pleasures of motoring for a mere £5. Aunt Jane asks him whether the other items are purchased on easy installments. Jack says that she's correct. He discloses that the radio, the piano, the refrigerator, etc. in the house have been purchased on installments. When Aunt Jane asks Jill whether the furniture belongs to Mr. Sage, Jill accepts that Aunt Jane's assumption is right. In fact, Jack owns only one leg of the furniture. Then Aunt Jane tells them that she is not going to sit on Mr. Sage's part and she stands up. She asks them what will be the total amount of weekly installments. Jack takes out his pocket book and calculates. He tells that it is £7, 8 shillings and 8 pence per week. So, for a week, how much he want to pay? £7, 8 shillings and 8 pence. Aunt Jane asked him how much he earns. Okay, you are spending this much, then what's your earning? What's your salary? Like that she is asking. Jack says that he earns £6 per week. Only he is earning £6 per week, that's it. Then Aunt Jane points out how it is looked absurd. She asks him how he can pay £7, 8 shilling and 8 pence out of £6. In Tamil, we are having one proverb. What it is? Varavu ettana, selavu pathana. Like the same, Jack also is crushed in this position. Jack says that it is easy. He can borrow money from the Thrift and Providence Trust Corporation. For the Jill tells that they are too glad to give loan for any amount on note of hand alone. Aunt Jane asks them how they propose to pay back the debt taken from the Thrift and Providence Trust Corporation. Jack tells her that he will pay it back in installments. Aunt Jane gets frustrated. She strikes a palm to her forehead and sits back into the sofa. Immediately she realizes that the sofa belongs to Mr. Sage and she leaps to her feet again by making a high-pitched sound. Jack asks Aunt Jane whether she likes to lie down for taking rest. Aunt Jane replies that she will not utilize any bed that belongs to Mr. Sage or Marks or Benzer. and she decides to go home. No, I am going home now. Then Jill comes and asks Aunt Jane whether she must really go home. Aunt Jane firmly tells she wants to leave that place. I don't want to be here. I want to leave this place. Jack offers to drive her to the station, but she refuses to be driven in the car that does not belong to Jack as yet. He's saying that means I will drop you by my car, but she's not accepting. She refused. No, I don't want to travel in your car. It is belong to someone. She advises Jack and Jill to buy things in cash. Cash town has always been her motto. It's my motto. I'm always buying things on paying cash. Aunt Jane opens her handbag and gives them a little check for 10 pounds. She advises them to pay at least one of their bills. In this way, at least one item will be really theirs. Now Jill thanks Aunt Jane for their visit to their home. Aunt Jane says that she must be going. Jack goes to see her off at bus stand. That means Jack accompanies her to the bus stand. Jill says goodbye to Aunt Jane and once again thanks her for the present. Thank you for your present, Aunt. Aunt Jane also says goodbye to Jill and goes out. Jill is very happy now. Why? She's seeing the check for 10 pounds. Oh, 10 pounds, very good. She puts the endorsed check along with the bill in an envelope and writes the address. On that envelope, she is writing an address. As soon as she rings the bell, a nurse comes in with the baby in her arms. A nurse, she is coming, who's taking care of the baby of Jack and Jill. Jill requests the nurse to post the envelope and she will look after the baby in the meantime. I'm taking care of my baby. Please post me this envelope for me. The nurse hands the baby to Jill and takes the letter and goes out. When Jack arrives, he asks how much the check amount is. Jill replies, it's 10 pounds. Then he tells that they can pay the next 2 installments for the car. When Jill tells him that it is not impossible, he asks her the reason. Why? Jill tells him that she has already sent it off for something else and the nurse has just gone to post it. Jack asks her to whom the payment is made. To whom you send this payment? Likewise, he is asking. Jill answers, I paid that amount to Dr. Martin. Yes, who is Dr. Martin? Jill says, Jill gets annoyed and he hears that the check has gone to Dr. Martin. Why? What's the need? Jill becomes depressed and asks Jack if he is going to be angry with her. Jack tells her that he is not angry with her. He thinks paying money to the doctor is a waste. He further tells that the doctors don't expect to get paid anyway. Then Jill tells him that he does not understand the real thing. She tells him that they have to pay one more installment and the baby would be really theirs. So, this is the reason for sending the check to Dr. Martin immediately. So, hereafter the baby is really the couple's, isn't it? That's why she is sending the check to Dr. Martin immediately. So, the play criticizes the new trend of young middle class couples who have the habit of buying many household items and houses in easy installments. The playwright feels that each couple would make a nest easily, but they will never settle happily. Now we are going to learn the glossary, which helps us to understand this funny, humorous play easily. Lounge, a place in a home or public building for leisure activities. That is called a living room. Cozy, comfortable. Installment, one of the parts into which a debt is divided when the payment is made at intervals. Absurd, ridiculously, unreasonable and meaningless. Propose, intend to do something. Realize, to understand or become aware of. Thingamies, small articles the names of which are not remembered. Motto, a short sentence or phrase that expresses a rule guiding the behavior of a particular person or group. Endorse, to make over to another. Tartar, a person of irritable temper. Possessed, completely controlled by an evil spirit. Reading comprehension questions. What did Aunt Jane like about Jack's little nest? Aunt Jane liked the charming, comfortable little room and the furniture. Aunt Jane seemed to think that there was mistake in the wedding present she had given Jack. Why? Aunt Jane had presented a check for £200 as a wedding gift to Jack. Jack told her they could live in such a wonderful house with cozy furniture because of her wedding gift. She knew that with just £200 they could not buy all their items in the house. So she thought by mistake she might have written 2000 instead of 200. What would make Jack the owner instead of being the tenant? Jack bought everything in installment and the house he bought only for £10. The remaining money he would pay in installments. He did not pay rent, so he became the owner instead of being the tenant. What sounded absurd to Aunt Jane? Jack had to pay every month £7 and 8 shillings and 8 pence every week as installment, but his salary was only £6. This sounded absurd to Aunt Jane. How did Jack manage to pay £7 and 8 shillings and 8 pence out of £6? He borrowed the remaining money from Thrift and Providence Trust Corporation. What advice did Aunt Jane offer the couple? She advised them not to get anything in installments and asked them to buy things with the cash in hand. For what purpose did Jill wish to use the check given by Aunt Jane? Jill wished to use the check to clear the account of the doctor from whom they bought the child. Just one more installment and the babies really ours. This tells us that the couple does not have a child. Now, paragraph questions of 100 to 150 words each. Why is there a double negative in the title, The Never Never Nest? Elucidate with reasons from the play. Cedric Mount in his play, The Never Never Nest, gives his opinion on the modern life. People are happy with the system of installments and without any thinking of the consequences, they go for buying things, necessary and unnecessary, in installments. They are given to understand they are the owners of the articles they possess, but in reality it's not true. In his play, he introduces a family of Jack and Jill. They buy everything: a cozy house, a car, a refrigerator, a radiogram, a furniture, in installments without having enough income to pay monthly installments. The comfortable nest seems to belong to them, but in reality it belongs to someone who has given the loan to them. The author uses double negative, never, never, in the title. It emphasizes the point that it will never become the property of Jack. The double negative is used for the sake of emphasis. Jack's weekly pay is only £6, but he has to pay £7 and 8 shillings and 8 pence every week. To make up the balance, he again borrows from Thrift and Provident Trust Corporation. In this way, he will never pay back his debt and they will never own the house. so it will always remain a never nest. Next one, bring out the humorous elements in the play. Hints given here. By using the hints we have to write the answer. The Never Nest by Cedric Mount. Modern life, installment system, not owners, feeling of ownership, family of Jack and Jill, buy everything installment, and Jane's visit, comes to know installment, refuses to use anything, owner of some parts, Jill pays to own the child. Cedric Mount in his play The Never Nest gives his opinion on the modern life. People are happy with the system of installments and without any thinking of the consequences, they go for buying things necessary and unnecessary in installments. They are given to understand they are the owners of the articles they possess, but in reality it is not true. In his play, he introduces a family of Jack and Jill. They buy everything, a cozy house, a car, a refrigerator, a radiogram and furniture in installments without having enough income to pay monthly installments. And Jane visits their house and without knowing that it was bought in installments, she appreciates Jack. Then slowly she comes to know that everything has been bought in installments and nothing belongs to him in whole. With the money he has paid, he has the claim for some parts in everything. And Jane refuses to sit on the sofa because it belongs to someone else. The steering wheel, one of the tires and 2 cylinders of the car only belong to Jack. Jack is trying to manage to pay 7 pounds and 8 shillings and 8 pence from his salary of 6 pounds. At the end, Jill pays a last installment to the doctor to own the child. Then the third one, how does the play The Never Nest expose the harsh reality of modern living? The Never Nest by Cedric Mount. Modern life, installment system, not owners, feeling of ownership, family of Jack and Jill, buy everything installment, owner of some parts, reality of many houses, wish for luxury, loan for everything, 7 pounds and 8 pence, 6 pounds, borrows from thrift and provident trust. Cedric Mount in his play The Never Nest gives his opinion on the modern life. People are happy with the system of installments and without any thinking of the consequences, they go for buying things necessary and unnecessary in installments. They are given to understand they are the owners of the articles they possess, but in reality it's not true. In his play, he introduces the family of Jack and Jill. They buy everything, a cozy house, a car, a refrigerator, a radiogram and furniture in installments without having enough income to pay monthly installments. This is reality of many households in the modern world. Men and women are pulled here and there with their wish to lead a luxurious life, and the loan agencies utilize this mentality for their benefits. They come forward to give loan of any amount to such people. They borrow money beyond their capacity. In this play, Jack has to pay every week 7 pounds and 8 pence, but his salary is only 6 pounds per week. To make up the balance, he borrows from thrift and provident trust. In this way, the modern man is in the vicious circle of borrowing and paying. Jill said that they owned the steering wheel of car, one of the tires, 2 of the cylinders and leg of a sofa. What does this convey? Cedric Mount in his play The Never Nest gives his opinion on the modern life. People are happy with the system of installments and without any thinking of the consequences, they go for buying things necessary and unnecessary in installments. They are given to understand they are the owners of the articles they possess, but in reality it's not true. In his play, he introduces a family of Jack and Jill. They buy everything, a cozy house, a car, a refrigerator, a radiogram and furniture in installments without having enough income to pay monthly installments. With the money he has paid, he has the claim for some parts in everything. He has a car, but he cannot claim the car as his own. So far, what he has paid for the car loan is only for the steering wheel, one of the tires, two of the cylinders. In the same way, he has paid only for one leg of the sofa. It clearly conveys that Jack cannot claim the ownership of anything. He may have many articles in his house, but he has paid only for some parts of them. So finally, Aunt Jane. She was shocked to see the life of Jack and Jill during her visit to their house. Put yourselves in the place of Aunt Jane and write a letter to the couple advising them not to spend beyond their means. Make more suggestions to enable them lead a debt-free life. She is writing this letter from Coimbatore, 28 December 2020. Dear Jack, my visit to your house was pleasant. Thank you for your hospitality. I do appreciate your wife for the way she manages your life, your family. But I feel I should, as a good cousin, put forth certain things to you in detail. I could not talk to you because of the presence of your wife. I was not sure how she would take my words. This is regarding the things you have bought in installments. I think many things are not that necessary for a family. Moreover, your house need not be that big for your small family. Of course, we need a car. Should we need such a big car which demands a huge EMI? I am sure that what you earn may be just enough for EMIs or little less than that. It's not fair for any family to get loan for daily needs. It will put you in a big financial crunch. Your EMIs and your daily expenditure should be within your salary. If some urgent need comes, what will you do? Again, you will go for borrowing money. Then it is endless. Now you cannot do anything with the articles you have bought. Try to be prudent in spending money. It may be difficult in the beginning. As time goes, it will become your habit. Budget your expenditure. Try to go for some extra job to earn some more money monthly. Please don't take it in the bad sense. I am interested in your life, so I am writing to you. My wishes to your wife too. Yours lovingly, Aunt Jane. So, Aunt Jane, she gave her advice to the young couple not to spend beyond their means. Now, this is the listening activity. The speaker says that our income is sufficient to meet our needs. Is it true or false? False. EMI is the only option for people who buy very expensive things. One is able to buy costly things with monetary power offered by EMI. If people fail to pay EMIs, they may be subjected to legal action. People should learn to spend within their means. Speaking activity. Based on your understanding of the play, the Never Never Nest organize a classroom debate on the topic: is equated monthly installment scheme a boon or a bane to middle class families? This EMI scheme is for those who want to buy things beyond their financial capacity. Everyone wants to enjoy a luxurious life with a big house, a car and all other amenities for the house. We try to imitate others in this regard. Is it a boon or a bane to the middle class families is a difficult question to answer. It's difficult for a middle class family to own a house with the money they have. Now a question comes, how much he can borrow to build or buy a house? Is it within his capacity or beyond his capacity? Can he pay the EMI with the salary he has? Is the interest he pays worth? If he can plan, according to this, it's a boon. But most of the time people go for a big house which they don't need. So they have to pay higher EMI, which may be difficult for them to pay for their salary. If a situation arises like this, it's a bane. Most of the time, the EMI scheme has become a bane for many middle class families. Thank you. Thank you, students.